Hello everyone. So in this video, I thought I'll probably talk about merge strategy. Now, I have made videos on this topic in the past, I think many times, but I think there is always something new and different about merge. Now, when it comes to merge in Jira, first of all, it is not at all a straightforward activity. I mean, merging in Jira, of course, is possible, and it has been there since the beginning of. I mean, I'm not really sure when this feature came, but I mean, first of all, there is no feature called merge. It's all about project import, right? So project import feature has been there in Jira for a long time, right? So basically, that is it. So in Jira, it is possible to do a project import, and when you do a project import, you need to first ensure that your target project has the necessary configurations, right? And then the project import will work. And that is actually a very big problem. Now, let me share some of the things that you should keep in mind when it comes to merge, or I should say options, right? Now, a merge can happen for a variety of reasons. A merge can happen when let us say in a big company where there are multiple Jira instances, and they of course want to have one Jira instance moving forward for a variety of reasons, of course, maybe to save cost, maybe they want to have like one common way of working, or just one Jira instance for simplicity. And merge can also happen for those cases where there are merges of the company itself, like acquisition, like that can happen, right? I've worked for companies, multiple companies where they have done merge for basically saving cost, but they also had to do a merge because that particular company was acquired by another company. So if you want to do a merge, I would say you should always keep in mind these options. So number one option is that, of course, you can do merge, right? The end goal could be that you want to have one Jira instance. And I'm not really going to say which option is the best option. You have to decide. And I'll also give you my views on what we should do. Like, not really a best practice. It really depends on the situation, but I can definitely share what I think is the best approach. So number one, you can of course do a merge, like, and the end goal is to have just one Jira instance. The second approach could be to not do a merge, right? I know it's a bit silly. It sounds silly, but it is not. And if you think about it, merge is, as I mentioned, complicated. Merge is expensive. Merge is never perfect. When you do merge, you will always lose some data. And if you are trying to evaluate, or maybe you're trying to look at all the options, keep this option, right? Don't do a merge, because sometimes it is okay to have like 2 or 3 Jira instances. Or maybe if you're trying to do a merge, maybe, decide what instances should be merged. I mean, if you have like a very small Jira instance, and I've seen that a lot, especially in big companies, and I'm talking about any company which is more than 50,000 people, like a global company, a bank or a telecom company. I mean, there are a lot of companies where they have like, a lot of task force. There will be multiple Jira instances. There will be some instances which are very small, like tiny. Like I'm talking about 1,000 people, maybe less than 5,000 people. So for a company which is like 50,000 plus, any instance which is less than 2,000, 5,000 people, they are probably candidates for merging to a bigger instance, right? And of course you will save money, but I'm not talking about cost here, because when these big companies are using Jira, I think for them cost is not really always important. It is important, but it is not really like on top of their list. Because imagine, for a bank, I mean, a couple of millions are nothing for them. Like, it's like peanuts, right? And I'm just talking about millions, but it may not be millions. But I'm just saying, for big companies, cost is never really always a problem. It is a factor, but not always. But I'm not talking about cost here. I'm just trying to talk about various options. So if you don't do a merge, then I think it is okay, because you may have, like, instead of 6 big Jira instances, you can have like 2 or 3, right? And you can make that decision. So this is option number 2. Option number 3 is do your merge, or do some kind of like merge, but not immediately, not on like day one. And that day one could be like the date when those two companies are merged, or that day one could be your end line given to you by your stakeholders. So let us say there is like a date, and based on these options, you want to, of course, evaluate what you want to do on that particular date, right? And that date could be in the next 2 years. That date could be in the next 6 months. So the third approach is doing a merge, but in a phased manner. Like, take some time, do it properly, do it slowly, and as I mentioned before, when you do a merge, it is expensive, it will take time, you will lose data, but at the same time it is disruptive, because when you have a Jira instance where you move to a different target environment, everything will change for the users. They will, of course, they will have to use a new URL, but when it comes to merge, you have to make sure that users are able to see everything that they were used to, right? And their projects should be, of course, moved, like all the data, and the behavior of those projects should be the same for them. But the third approach, where I'm talking about doing it in a phased manner, what you can do is, you can, of course, do the initial assessment of those environments, like some initial analysis, and every time you do a merge, or if you're doing a merge, try to clean up as much as you can, right? Because when you do merge, if your instance is already messed up, which I think I talked about in my previous video, then you're going to add more mess, or I should say you'll be doubling the mess of your target environment. So basically, if you are doing this in a phased approach, then you can, of course, make a plan. You can identify what teams, what projects should be moved, and in what order. And to be honest, when it comes to doing a merge, there is no recipe. There is no formula that do this and it will happen. It is not possible at all. You have to basically define this recipe for each merge, for each phased merge, and then, of course, improve upon it, and then learn from it, and then see if your previous merge, what you did, can you reuse it completely, like from the beginning till end, or maybe you need to modify something. And of course, you will have to write scripts. You will have to use some plugins, of course, like Project Configurator or whatever, right? Configuration Manager for Jira. Of course, you have to migrate the configurations. You have to ensure that the target environment is suitable. And obviously, you need to have you, of course, need to do this merge on a staging environment where you will ask someone to first validate. So if you do it in a phased manner, then you will have a lot of time, but it will be less expensive for you. And as I mentioned before, because when you do a merge, you will lose something. It will be disruptive for your users. You will also have a list of things that will go wrong or that can go wrong. So keep that third option also open. And apart from these 3 options, I don't really think there is any other option. Of course, instead of doing a merge, sometimes you also have to do a split, which is simple. To be honest, just spin up, you have one Jira instance, clone it, duplicate your database, your file system, have a copy of it, set it up on a target environment, and then delete what you don't need, which is actually very simple. Of course, I mean, I'm just giving you high level as compared to merge, but if you have to do a split, you can also do a split. So in this video, of course, I just wanted to talk about these strategies. And of course, doing a merge or a split is, technically possible, and it is feasible. And of course, when it comes to, I'm not even talking about the apps and automations. As I mentioned before, it is disruptive. You will lose data, you will lose something. It is not 100%, but at the same time, I want to say that if you're doing it on data center, then it is much better than doing it on a cloud Jira instance. On cloud, it is painful. And that is why I don't like cloud. I mean, I shouldn't say this, but as compared to data center, I of course don't prefer working on cloud because it is always, annoying doing these things, migrations and merges on cloud. Anyways, that is all I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new today. Thank you very much.